Hi from Kotu and said it is Labor Day, and tonight we want to explore the unique context and relationship between domestic workers and their employers. As workers who in many cases live in the same house and eat with their employers, is it strictly an employee-employer relationship that is regulated by law, or is it one that should be uniquely created and regulated by mutual terms of agreement? KTN's Sharon Momanyi explores.
Sandra Muluka is a resident of Nairobi and a mother of 3 children. Like many working mothers, she sought the services of a house help to watch over her children and handle household chores when she is away at work. The cordial relationship Sandra enjoyed with her house help was soon to be hit by a storm. It started when the house help's uncle died.
As we are still talking, I'm trying to explain to her, I'm not saying that you don't go, but can you go on Friday? So she starts crying and wailing. At some point, she starts banging the doors. So I let her go for like a few minutes.
Akapanda kwa stairs ni nyumba ya juu na chini. Akaniambia, Joyce, toka, chukua vitu zako toke. Mimi nikamwambia nitoke niende wapi, ni saa 4 usiku.
What followed was a fiery exchange with their individual accounts of what transpired that night totally different.
Nikamwambia acha nichukue vitu zangu sasa kwa sababu umesema nitoke kwa nyumba. Na mimi sijui kama ulikuwa na mambo mengine, kama ilikuwa hii matanga ya mjomba, ulikuwa unanifukuza, ulikuwa na jambo zingine.
Said, you know what? Actually, in fact, I don't even need to stay here. I'll go and I won't come back. So I asked her, are you threatening me? She said, since you don't want me to go, I will go and I won't come back.
According to Joyce, it is her employer Sandra who fired her, while Sandra on her part maintains that Joyce chose to quit and even asked for her pay.
Mimi nilikuwa nataka anilipe miaka zangu. Zile zenye tulimaliza na yeye. Anilipe na mimi tuachane na yeye kwa sababu ameshaleta msichana mwingine.
It's 1 year, but don't forget the other years when I worked for your friends. I'm going to count it as having worked for you. So I don't know. So I don't know who is advising or misadvising her, but there's some story going on.
What followed took Sandra by shock. Joyce filed a case with the Kenya Union of Domestic Workers, KUDEA, who in turn served Sandra with this demand letter. In the letter, Joyce is demanding for terminal benefits, including 1 month's pay in lieu of notice, payment for allegedly denying her time off duty as required by law, and underpayment of salary. The operative minimum monthly wages for domestic workers is 9,780 shillings.
I was paying my house help 6,500. I don't think I could have been able to reach that 9,500. So I think this is also a bit too high for many people.
I don't know why the employers always want to pay minimum wage, even underpay them. How do you expect that person who is working as an askari to pay his house rent, to pay for the school fees, for their transport?
A question that one may ask is, why would an employee who has worked for over a year without complaining about her pay now have the right to do so?
If I have realized a mistake has been done, that does not observe the employer from rectifying the position and paying the arrears. The employee may not be knowledgeable, but yes, employer, you have your obligation and the duty to pay what is required in the law.
I decided now we are going to put things on paper and put things in order. So we agreed from the word go. How many days will you be going off? And it is written. And we agreed from her end, what does she require from me?
Critics, however, argue that the relationship between employers and their domestic workers is unique and not strictly an employer-servant relationship. With the cost of living on a constant high, a big number of employers still meet their costs of food and accommodation, arguing that the two parties should be left to agree on their terms depending on their unique nature of work. But on the other hand, domestic workers still need their rights protected by law. For a long time, Kenyan employers have been able to fire domestic workers with as short as a day's or immediate notice. Welcome to the new face of domestic service, where workers are lawyering up and you, the employer, need to know the do's, the don'ts, and the law. Sharon Momanyi, KTN, Nairobi.